Once you understand the problem, then you can give the right solution. You can give the right suggestion, because remember that you are a human being too. It's not like you have it all. You don't have all the answers, but you are trying to bring suggestions and ways that they can look into it. Okay, let's look at it this way. If it was like this, how would it be? If it was this way, how would it be? Don't you think that at this level you ought to have done this, that? But then before you give all those suggestions, you need to know the root cause. If it is sex, you cannot be talking about finances.
Right.
If the man has issue that that the wife is not allowing him to have sex, you cannot be talking about finances. So marriage counselors, most importantly, they need to know, to try to understand the root cause of what the problem is before they start giving solutions. And also, couples need to know when to seek for counseling. Do not wait when you're already divorced, when the man has filed divorce or the woman has filed for divorce. At that time, you're not looking for, it's hard at that time. And we know how counseling in this marriage counseling, marriage therapy in this our society, especially in America, is it's okay for you to go through divorce and stuff like that. So don't wait till that time when it's already too late before you see a counselor, because their duty is to fix it before it gets to that level.
But can counseling or filing for divorce not be reversed?
It can. It can be reversed. It can be reversed. Now, with the proper mindset of the couple, because most of the time, if somebody has taken that step to say, "Hey, I'm filing for divorce," know that they have thought it through. They have looked everything. I mean, they have looked for every reason to justify the fact that they want the divorce. So at that time, it's kind of, because you already have that premeditated idea, you already have that stereotype idea that, no, my solution here is divorce. It's kind of like hard to bring it back, to make you see that side that you should have seen before even getting there. And again, a lot of pressure out there. Some people will be telling them, no, this is enough. You've had enough. Don't listen to anything. This is the time that you need to get your freedom and all that. So you, at the counselor at that time, you have it more difficult. And to be honest with you, most counselors, they usually go with what their clients want. If my client wants divorce, they start talking about, okay, how you will cope with divorce, how you will cope with it. But it is not all that. Some counselors will just be like, okay, now that it has reached the point of divorce, let's talk about divorce. How would you handle it? What would be this thing? So I advise that don't get there, even though it can be reversed. But if you don't meet the right counselor, trust me, that divorce will go through. Even if you were just making a mistake or you were just threatening, if you don't meet the right person, the right counselor, it may just go through.
Okay, you've just mentioned sex as one of the problems which counselors have to deal with. You've mentioned finances. What other problems are common?
Other problems that are common in that I have heard is the fact that men, when babies come,
right,
men don't help.
Okay.
Help in the house. We all know, especially West Africans now. We know that back home, our mothers do everything because they are basically stay-at-home moms, But here, the roles are kind of like equalized, so to say, because the woman is working, the man is working. Now, women have issues like, okay, we all both are working. I'm not saying that I'm not going to do what I have to do, but sometimes help. So I have seen issues of couples, especially the women, complaining that the men don't help, and that turns them off because they get tired. Another issue that is rampant is in-law issues.
Okay.
That is a serious issue that not only like in-law particularly, but if you are in a relationship, if you're in marriage, you don't know how to set boundaries. There's going to be problem. You need to know how to set boundaries.
I'm talking about in-law issues. When you get to talk with a couple on that, do you extend that counseling to that in-law who probably is the one causing the issue?
Can you say that again?
Do you get to talk with the in-law who is the perpetrator of the problem when you go to solve such issues?
Oh, no. So typically, um what typically happens is that um I advise the person that is the mom, if it is the man's mother or family,
Mhm.
we talk and let him handle his family, because
Okay.
you got to give them that respect. You cannot, even though you're a counselor, you are trying to help people, you cannot just intrude in people's families like that.
Okay.
That's not good. That's not right. So
Mhm.
your clients are the couple,
Mhm.
period. So if there's any external thing, any external family member that is adding,
It becomes
so
a new
you have
contact.
to address, if if it's from the woman, you address the woman. Hey,
Mhm.
okay, we have seen that this is the issue. So you got to talk to your mom
Mhm.
or your dad. If it is a man, you got to address this situation. And most of the time, there are just things that we just let happen that are not supposed to happen, especially when it
Mhm.
comes to these in-law things. So the best way is, when you identify that as an in-law issue, let the person, the son or daughter, address that parent or family member.
Okay, that's great. So we'll definitely come back to marriage counseling in another show. I promise you we'll do that, because there's so much to learn from you. But I want us to look at the Blissful Couples Corner, which is a platform you use to exercise some of the things we just talked about. At what point did you create this show?
To be honest with you, this show has not been this show has been on air for, I think, the beginning of this year, January. To be honest, I
Okay, so it was
conceived the idea.
okay.
I had the idea, to be honest to you. I had the idea to go live,
Mhm.
and because I know that on social media is going to target a broader audience and help
Right.
more people out
Mhm.
there. But I didn't just have the energy, like, just thinking about it, because to be honest, I'm not a social media person.
Mhm.
I'm not a social media person. You hardly see me on Facebook and stuff like that before now. So I was like, how do I even go about this? How do I start recording? How do I
Mhm.
start doing it? I have other businesses. I've not been able to even put it online.
Mhm.
I've been struggling to do that. So how will I start with this thing that I have to be doing weekly? So fortunately, I got somebody that one of my sister-in-laws connected me to Gwendy Media,
Mhm.
and it so happened that Gwendy Media is my friend back in this in the days. It's cool.
Mhm.
So I got to talk to her. When I gave her all these ideas that I have, she was like, "Wow! So what are you waiting for? You have everything already." So that is how I got into it. I touched base with her in the December, and we did everything together. She's been so amazing. And January we launched the first edition of the BCC.
Wow, that's great. Her name is Soul Angel. She's the host of the Blissful Couples Corner Show, which you can follow on Facebook and YouTube. She doubles as a marriage counselor. Yes, in today's edition of African Fiesta, reaching you live from APEX1 Radio. It's Saturday, the 26th of February, 2022, and we're broadcasting from the United States of America. Our guest is speaking from Chicago in Illinois. So tell me, how's the show structured? Could you just describe the nature of the Blissful Couples Corner?
Well, the Blissful Couples Corner, the whole idea, the nature of this show is creating a safe space, a safe platform for couples and young adults who are interested in getting married, who are at the age of getting married. Like, because marriage is not something you just jump into, right? You start planning for it.
Mhm.
You start planning for it. You start building up your mindset, because it's a whole different world on its own. So
Mhm.
it's a platform, a safe space that I created for adults, couples to come, put our voices together, because it's not only about me teaching or giving out tips there,
Mhm.
but the viewers, the audience, their comments can help somebody. So the idea is that I created this platform so that we can all come together and share ideas. You watching the show, you will learn one or two things from each show that will help you to change something, tweak something in your marriage that was not working to start working. Maybe you have some issues in sex. You may get some tip in sex that will help you. Maybe you have some issues in having some good time with your husband on some me time. You get some tips on getting that me time. So it's all about coming together, creating that space that people can come and learn something. And also in this show, we will be inviting, like the last show that we had, the first retreat. We invited guests to come and speak, professional people to come and speak to us and tell us on some things we want to do. So we have to do it to help our marriages, solve issues. We have a lot of issues. Help the young single ones that want to get married, start building their mindset, start thinking of what they should be thinking about. What are the priorities, like we did in one of our episodes? If you want to get married, what are the things you should be focusing on and what you should not pay attention to? So it's a platform for us to come and learn, couples to come and get something that will help in marriage. Marriages go through a lot of issues.
Right.
There is no single one that doesn't. So that was my idea, because if I do it one-on-one counseling, it's okay, but it doesn't touch a lot of people like that. But this platform is open,
Right.
it's open for everybody.
So last month you ran an edition which you dubbed the flavors and splendors of marriage. What does that mean?
Flavors and splendors of marriage is actually the BCC tagline. And in that first edition, we're talking about that. Marriage is like, when you're cooking food, right? The kind of spice that you put inside, the kind of flavor you put inside will determine the taste of that food. Just like when you go to the market, when you're baking cake in the house. When you go to the market, let me never say you're baking cake. You go to the market, some people want cake. They say, hey, I need vanilla flavor. Another one will say, no, I want chocolate flavor. Someone will say, I want strawberry. Why are they asking for all those flavors? Because they have different taste. And the taste is determined by the flavor. It's the same as food. The spice that you put there will give you a different taste. If you want your sauce to be so sweet, you will put enough Maggi for it to be sweet. If you want it to be salty, put enough salt. If you want pepper, you put pepper. So those are the flavors that you're adding to bring out the particular kind of thing you want. It's the same as marriage. Flavors you add to your marriage will bring out the bliss or the splendor in it. Splendor is joy, happiness, the grandeur of the thing. So if you are the kind of person that you try to put sweet things in your marriage, you try to bring some little kind of romantic tips, you will have a blissful marriage. If you are the one that all your own that you do is bringing criticism, you criticize your husband. When he does this one, you are criticized. When he does this one, it's not enough. You are bringing quarrels, or you are the kind of husband that you never appreciate. You always bring the negativity that you put in your marriage will reflect in the relationship, will reflect in the thing. The positivity that you put inside will reflect. If you are kind, you are caring, you are always there, it will bring out that splendor. So whatever you put in marriage will be reflected in it. So that's why I started flavors and splendors. So whatever flavor you put, you will reap it.
Whatever pleasure or flavor you put, you will repeat. Otherwise, garbage in, garbage out. We're speaking with a marriage counselor. Her name is Soul Angel. She's live from Chicago in this edition of African Fiesta. In another edition of the show, you talked about infatuation and enlightenment stages. Tell me, does a husband or a wife not have the right to be infatuated in marriage?
Oh no, they do. So the edition that we're talking about, infatuation and enlightenment, that was actually the edition that was talking about the dating process.
Okay.
Because when I started the show, the first episode of the dating process. It's a series, because the way I structured the show is I didn't want to just start in the middle talking about marriage without going from the dating. Everything starts from dating. Now, you don't just jump into a relationship and say, hey, I'm married.
Sure.
So we started with the dating process. The first episode was the attraction. Then the next one was the infatuation and enlightenment. The second one was priority. The other one was infatuation and enlightenment. So the infatuation and enlightenment are the stages that we talked about. The second stage in a dating process, whereby I'm just basically saying that in that stage, when you see somebody for the first time, that attraction is there. You exchange numbers and you start talking. Everybody wants to show their best output, right? You want to put out your best there. Right. So you think there is nothing wrong you see about the person at that time. Even if I come and tell you that, hey, you are my sister. This guy you are dating is not good for you. This guy is dating X, Y, Z and all over the place. You will not believe me, because that time your mind is crowded. All you see is that perfect, handsome guy, because all those hormones are just draining you. You are just floating in love. So that's why we say that stage of those butterflies running in through you and you don't see anything wrong, that is infatuation. At that time, you don't even know if you really love this person or not, because usually the first 3 months, you are just so much into the person, you are so much into him, so much into her, that you don't even know whether this is really love. Sometimes you even put yourself and ask, is this real? I feel like I'm just flying. I feel like a lot of girls will say that. I don't know about men, but ladies go crazy in that stage. And then comes a time that you're like, okay, like you snap out of it. Okay, those hormones have calmed down. What's happening now? Okay. That time is like your brain, because infatuation, your brain is not functioning. It's only your love brain that's functioning at that time. Now, when you come now to the realization that, okay, hold on, let me slow down, because your hormones start slowing down and we start picking some things like, okay, now you can identify that home. I think Christian has some issues here and there and there. So that infatuation stage is in the stage of dating process, which if it continues, if you have that stage in your marriage, it's just like you are so much in love and you don't even care what happened. I'll say, whatever thing I'm saying is that infatuation is not the best. Real love is the best thing, because you are able to put together your reasoning, your love brain and your real brain together and make some conscious decisions and reasonable decisions. But when you're infatuated, you don't think, you just do anything.
Okay, that's beautiful. We are speaking with a marriage counselor and show host of the Blissful Couples Corner. Right, so quickly, Soul Angel, who are the kind of people you receive on your show? Just couples?
Like guests? You mean like guests? Like taking my
yes, like your guest.
No, not just couples. Okay. Not just couples that take in my guest list. Because like I said, it's not all about couples. And let me tell you something. The fact that you're married does not mean that you don't have issues in your household. The only difference, every marriage goes through issues. The difference is how we solve these issues, how we handle them. Right. The way I handle mine, the outcome will be different from the way you handle yours. But it doesn't mean that we don't have these problems. So I welcome anybody on my show, even if you're single, because that's what I plan to do. I plan to invite people. It doesn't matter whether you're single, but if you have something in you that you can tell somebody out there that is reasonable, that can help. Right. It can help a single to prepare for marriage. Or some people have natural wisdom. Okay, you can be a single person and you will give an advice on air that will help somebody that's been going through an issue for long in their marriage. So it's not all about that. If you have the wisdom, anybody can be a guest on my show, so long as you are on track and you're making sense out of what you are saying. But I want to deal with lean more. I will be trying as the show goes on to bring more professionals to talk to us, whether single or married, to talk to us about these things that we go through and how we can prepare for marriage, because it's preparation too.
Beautiful. So, weeks down the road, what has been the experience? What is the feedback you get from people? Are they liking it?
Absolutely, they are loving it. They
Mhm,
are. I mean, I've been having an amazing feedback from this, especially from those who have been waiting for this for.
mhm.
Some people have been waiting for me to do this for long, and they were like, "Oh,
Okay.
you see, we told you." So I've been having some. I've not really had any negative feedback
Mhm.
from anyone as per se. So for right now, I've been having really positive feedback. Some people even call me and even give me suggestions on the kind of topic that I can talk on about on the show. That's
Right.
to tell you that people, because somebody will call you and give you the issues that they're going through, right?
Mhm.
That's to tell that people there's a lot to talk about.
Right.
So people call me and tell me, oh, it would be nice to talk about this on the show one time. So I just write them down. Of course, everybody is welcome because I
Mhm.
know that the issues we go through are different.
Right.
So, and we all need help in those aspects. So that's why in my show, I always encourage people, put in your comments, what do you want us to talk about? Whatever comments, whatever thing you want to see, put it there. Put
Mhm.
your comments about the topic because it can help somebody. So anybody is welcome in this show. And we're going to be talking about some really interesting things down the show, down the line. It's been an amazing journey, and I want to thank everybody out there that is following me,
Mhm.
watching, and sharing. Um, I really do appreciate it. The love has been so amazing, and the support has been really great,
Right.
especially on Facebook. I am my part. I'm the kind of I'm the one that is kind of like a little bit slow because recently I've been under the weather, so I haven't been posting that much.
Mhm.
But I will pick up.
Sure, sure. Let us talk about the packaging. Let's talk about the production. I know to put up one edition of each edition of the show is not chocolate, it's not candy. Just explain how you go about with a typical edition of your show from conception of the idea of the topic till when this show finally goes on the airwaves.
Okay, that's an interesting one, and quite frankly, it's not easy. The most challenging thing is coming out with the topic you want to talk about,
Mhm,
organizing it. But what has been so good for me is that I have this amazing lady I'm working with, Wendy Media.
mhm, mhm,
So Gwendolyn is my coach. She's kind of coaching me into this. She's the one that really pushed me into starting this online this live show. So when I spoke with her, I actually kind of, because I had a lot of material. So all we had to do was to organize it, them in episodes, in edition seasons. So
mhm,
the first season, I had already had my first 10 episode lined up. So it was kind of easy for me. The only thing that was challenging, since I'm not a media person, was to come out with the script, which Gwendolyn helped me to do that.
mhm,
So typically, I already have my topics lined up. So I just have to come out with a script on how I'm
mhm,
going to flow.
mhm,
Then I do my live through StreamYard.
mhm,
I use StreamYard, and Gwendolyn too. She trained me on that. She's my trainer, so
mhm,
she trained me on that too. So that's what we've been using, and using StreamYard has been really easy because you just set up the broadcast, set up everything, and then go live from there, and it goes straight to Facebook. The only
mhm,
challenge I had is that for some reason my YouTube, it wouldn't accept something. I don't know what is wrong with my YouTube channel
mhm,
that we're trying to stream live from there.
mhm.
It wouldn't let us. It was going to different other pages, but we are working on that. But
Sure.
it's still easy because with the StreamYard, when I finish, I just download it and send it to and upload it to my YouTube channel. Recently, that's
Mhm,
what we started doing when we figured out that we could do that. So we did that for the last show, the last edition, the couples retreat last week is
mhm,
right now on YouTube. I just downloaded the video from
mhm,
a StreamYard and just uploaded it there. So I don't have to go through the difficulty of cutting, editing, and all that because
mhm.
trust me, that process of editing is
Tedious.
horrible.
Right.
I'm not a media person, so I don't know all these things. So for me, it's easy with StreamYard. I have it easy that way.
Mhm. I know it's not always rosy. We may appear on the screens looking good and talking to very intelligible people. Yet, behind the scenes, it takes a lot to have a successful production.
Yeah.
Apart from some of the problems you've just mentioned, like being unable to stream live on YouTube, what are other challenges you face?
Some other challenges I face are timing.
Okay.
It's not easy. Because most of the time, like normally my show has to stream live
Mhm,
5 p.m. Eastern
mhm,
time every
mhm,
Sunday.
mhm,
But because of of work and other stuff that you go through during the week, I don't most of the time I don't even have the time to sit up and
right.
to sit and set up the
Mhm,
broadcast.
sure.
So I find myself running behind, and most of
Mhm,
the time I'm starting maybe like 15, 30 minutes late on that.
sure.
That's a big challenge. And I have kids.
Mhm,
Sometimes you're setting up and you want to go on, but they're like, mommy, mommy, mommy. You have to like talk to them and
mhm,
so those life itself is
mhm,
not easy. That's
mhm,
why I try to initially I was thinking I'll probably be doing 2 videos a week. But to be honest with you, I don't see that happening. Maybe I can just do
mhm,
some shots, but my real life, this thing, I can just keep up with the one trying. There's sometimes health issues too. You don't just, you don't just feel like that day you have that motivation. But to
mhm,
be honest with you, God gave me somebody. When God gives you a vision, He gives you somebody to help you.
right.
The person I have as coach is amazing. She's been pushing me a lot. If not, probably by now I'll be like, okay, let me hold on for a little bit because it's really a challenge. I did not know that, to be honest with you. These people, you guys going online, I give you kudos. It's something.
Sure, it's really a big challenge, and I mean we can talk from today till next year about it. Well, this is Apex1 Radio. We're broadcasting from the United States of America. It's African Fiesta, the 190th edition of the show. And today we are receiving a marriage counselor. And the Blissful Couples Corner is our topic of discussion. So we're about to run off this conversation, Soul Angel. And I would just like to know a few things from you. First, when is your next show coming up?
My next show is coming up tomorrow, actually,
Okay. What time?
5 p.m.
5
Hopefully,
p.m. Okay. And
5
so
p.m. Eastern time.
all we need to do is to go on Facebook and type
Yes,
out the
the
Blissful
Blissful Couples Corner on
Couples
Facebook.
Corner.
Yes.
Right. That's great. I don't want you to let the cat out of the bag. We'll probably know your topic and your guests tomorrow when the show comes up. Do you plan to do any collaborative work with other people, especially the ones who are in your
Oh
domain?
yeah. I
Okay.
do. I do. I'm working on that. Me and Gwen, we working on that. And also, I just want to echo here that um we are working on the episode 2.0 of the
Okay.
couples retreat, the Blissful Couples Corners couples retreat,
Mhm.
sometime in summer. We're
Okay.
looking at July, August, but that's going to be an
Mhm.
in-person retreat. It's going to
Okay.
be, we're planning for it to be really big because we're going to be inviting some real renowned marriage
Mhm.
counselors to come
Okay.
talk to us.
Mhm.
So we're planning something really, really big
Mhm.
that is going to help to rekindle.
Mhm.
I call it rekindle the flames 2.0
Mhm.
because we need to be doing that. So I just want to
Mhm.
echo that we should know that the Blissful Couples Corner is working on something coming
Mhm.
summer that is going to be mind blowing with a
Mhm.
lot of professionals part to
Mhm.
talk to us about how we can handle things, how we can make these marriages work.
Mhm.
Okay, so stay tuned on that.
Beautiful. So, from my understanding, the Blissful Couples Corner goes beyond just a show on Facebook where you will sit in front of your camera and speak to people.
Yes,
So, it's going to expand into the community.
yes.
Beautiful. Well, we will follow up on that, and whenever we the need arises, we'll have you back on this show
Sure.
to talk about it. I want to thank you so much for joining us on the show, Soul Angel. Yours is a noble mission. Anyone who goes out there to fix things rather than destroy is on the right track. So thank you so much for being part of the show today, and do have a fantastic rest of the week. And just before you go away, what are your social media contacts, and how can people who want
I'm
to
on
do your show get to
Facebook,
you?
the
Okay.
Blissful Couples Corner,
Mhm.
and I'm on YouTube, the Blissful Couples Corner. You can also follow me on Instagram, but the most prominent pages are YouTube channel and
Mhm.
Facebook.
Thank you so much. Do have a fantastic rest of the weekend, and may God
Thank
bless
you
you.
so much for having me.
Thank you, and bye. This is Apex One Radio. This is African Fiesta. It was a long one with the marriage counselor, but necessary because we had to pull out some information and send it across. So, for those of you just joined us, thank you so much, and welcome on board. Let's have some music, then we will be back with you. Meantime, we are expecting to have another lively conversation with Komi Musa and Wanchia Cynthia.